primary colors. Red, blue, and yellow, right? Wrong! Why did we think this? Well, that's what your teacher told you. And then they gave you those paints and you mixed them together and it seemed to be right. But tell me, what colors do you mix together to get magenta? What about cyan? You see, during the Middle Ages, the church told you what reality was. If they said the primary colors were red, blue, and yellow, then that was the truth. But then there was a revolutionary idea. Let's see if we can use our senses to come up with a better hypothesis. Well, I don't know what colors make magenta. Let's add it to yellow. Oh look, red! Instead of relying on what an authority tells us, we can use our senses to determine the truth. And that's why your printer uses cyan, magenta, and yellow ink, not red, blue, and yellow. And don't even get me started about color and light. But that realization you had when these two colors were mixed, that's the scientific revolution at work.
Is Science Art? Is art science? Pixis is showing you how you can use an elementary science experiment to make some art. We all know that rubbing alcohol is flammable, and alcohol inks, blending solution all have this base. As the gases burn off from our blending solution and inks, it will dry in unique pattern. Make sure you have parental permission to do this and that you are in a safe space and away from anything too flammable. Read the caption for more notes. Thank you guys for watching and make sure to follow along for some more cool projects.
We're making art with magnets. I just love science art. Put paper in the box. I went to the junk drawer and found some metal bits. You could do a little scavenger hunt with your kids and let them find stuff, and let them find things that are not metal too. Then they can learn the science part. So I just hot glued them onto a bottle to make a little wand. Your magnets do need to be kind of strong for this. You're gonna need to supervise because you don't want your kids to eat this. Do I have to say that? I'm gonna put a bunch of different colors of paint on the box. We're gonna put our metal bits into the box and use your magnet to drag it around. This is so fun, like so fun. Guys, please make this one. Do this one. This is the one. We're making volcano paint. You just need vinegar, baking soda, food coloring, and a piece of paper. This is a process art activity, and you're probably thinking it's gonna be messy, but it's gonna be okay. We're just gonna sprinkle some baking soda onto the paper. The more baking soda you do, the bigger the volcanic eruption. Now I'm just gonna drip some food coloring onto the baking soda. This is the fun part. Just do little drops so that you get lots of little eruptions. So you can use a spoon, or if you have one of these little pipettes, they work great. Or you could do the trick where you put your finger over the straw, like that. And you're like, my kid's not gonna wanna stop. It's okay. Put the baking soda into a muffin pan with the food coloring and then let them go to town. It doesn't make art, but it makes for some fun. The baking soda is not gonna stick to the paper. You can kind of just rub it off. Your kids are gonna have so much fun with this one.
Hey Science Talk, I'm Kat and I'm a full-time artist, and I have recently finished a series that I thought you guys might like. I've made 15 paintings portraying the wild bees of Australia because I used to live there a couple of years ago, and I found out that the bee family is quite more diverse than I knew, and there is more to it than just honeybees and bumblebees. So I wanted to make a little project where I share their interesting colors and different shapes and sizes, with the idea to educate and share what I have learned about bees as well. And one more thing, I would really love to see this series somewhere in a museum, like a nature history museum. So if you guys can help me with that, I will really much appreciate. And if you want to see the series in the making or check more about my series, you can see the other videos in my profile or check my website. I have a whole page just dedicated to this project if you want to learn more. And yeah, have a good day.
Welcome to day 46 of lettering the elements and reading facts about them. Palladium has an absolutely astonishing ability to absorb up to 900 times its volume in hydrogen gas. The hydrogen just disappears into the solid metal, squeezing its way in between palladium atoms in their crystal lattice. If it weren't so expensive, tanks filled with palladium mesh would be an obvious way to store huge amounts of hydrogen with no need for high pressures. Not surprisingly, there is ongoing research attempting to find rare earth alloys that could work nearly as well, but at a much lower cost.
Day 8 of Inktober. First prompt is rabbit skull. Baby rabbits are called kittens, while adult females are called does and males are bucks. They live in warrens, elaborate tunnel systems that can be as large as tennis courts and 10 feet below the surface. Rabbit teeth grow at a rate of 5 inches per year and never stop growing.
I'm super excited to show you guys this because I think you're gonna love it. Why is it so mysterious in a black bag? It's cyanotype paper. Paper that reacts with the sun to make an image. Most of the time you see this where people lay like flowers and leaves and natural stuff on top of it. But I had an idea. I want to do an ocean scene. I printed coloring book pages and I'm just gonna cut them out. Taking a field trip to the outside. I laid all my stuff out on my paper and now it's gotta sit in the sun for at least 15 minutes and it just got cloudy, so we'll see. Okay, it took way longer than 15 minutes to get to this point, but watch. Right? So cool. But we are not done. Also, this didn't come with instructions. I just waited until this part got dark brown. It took about an hour. Add vinegar to the water to brighten the blueness. Guess what though? You can watercolor on it. I'm gonna flick it with a little white paint to make some bubbles. Okay, but we're not finished. We're gonna add colored pencil details. And a little white gel pen. It takes a little playing around to figure out the paper, but it's worth it. This one's really fun.